In the year 2024, over 17,000 Kenyan students left the country to go study abroad, and Canada and the UK alone host more than about 60% of Kenyan international students. And the numbers keep getting higher and higher and higher. So what makes it possible, if this is the situation, that not everybody who goes out there knows anyone out there or have money like that? So what are the opportunities that are out there for you? And if you're interested, this is the conversation for you. If you're a parent at home sitting down thinking, this is what I've been thinking to do about my children, stay locked, because we've got the experts. We have a power panel to help you in this conversation. But before that, we've got a question for you. And the question is, imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? The question we're asking you today is, imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Please indulge us. Let us know where you want to go. And if you have any questions, please let us know, because we have the right panel to answer all of them for you. And if you have a story to share as well, ulienda ukajaribu kikakuramba, please tuambie, ndio tujue from your story as well. Where did you go wrong? What should you have done better? Okay? All right. Now, to introduce my panel, like I said, power panel. These are the who's and who's that will answer all of your questions. And starting on my immediate left, Winnie, I miss you. Starting from my immediate left, we have John Mutwiri Miriti, an expert on higher education and government policy. Karibu sana. Lovely to have you. And you'll tell us more on what that means. The title is quite heavy, but we need to understand what it is that you do to corner students hapa nyuma, so waelewe kabisa ni nini inaendelea. Right next to John, we have Mary Richardson, a global education strategist. Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. And last but not least, right next to Mary, we have Dennis Kiogora, who's a recruitment specialist and has helped many Kenyans students secure admissions abroad. Karibu sana, Dennis.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to have you. And I know I've just said those titles like that, but we'll get into it. And of course, I have an amazing audience. How are you guys doing? Yeah, are you eager for this conversation? I am eager on your behalf. Probably there was a chance for me when I was younger. I don't know if I have a chance now, but we'll find out all about that. But maybe we can start with you, John. Maybe you can tell us what it is that you do exactly before we get into the conversation.
Thank you very much, Mwikali, for having us in studio today. As you've said, my name is John Mutwiri Miriti. I'm passionate about education, particularly international education. And because of that, currently I assist Kenyan and African students to secure places to study internationally in Perth, Western Australia, specifically in a university called Murdoch University.
Aha,
yeah.
Fantastic. Mary?
Thank you, Makali. And similar to John, I also come from Perth, Western Australia, and I have engaged with the Kenyan market for the past 3 years to invite Kenyan students to come to Western Australia to explore all of the fantastic opportunities we have for them in Western Australia.
All right. Okay. Dennis.
Thank you very much. My name is Kiogora, DMK, or Dennis.
What was that other one? You said DMK?
Yes.
So would you prefer us to go with DMK? Or?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go with DMK.
So, now I've been recruiting students specifically for the US and Canada since 2019. I've been trying to introduce methods these students can access scholarships, graduate assistantships, so that you can cheapen the process of studying, and also helping them with loans to be able to go. To be able to study. So that's what I've been doing. So far I have more than 2,000 students in America alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. To my audience, how many are eager to study out of the country? Show of hands. Ni wote. Niwote, so for the question of the day, and I'm just going to read that again so that we understand, even as you answer this question, because you're eager to go there, where would it be? And that's the question that we're asking you today. The question is, imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? Imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? And we'll get the audience to let us know where it is that they would like to go, because clearly their hands were up. But just to understand, I do not have a relative. I have a dream. It's, call it the American dream, Perth dream, UK dream, whatever dream it is. And I have no one there. Where do I start? How do I even get to know about these opportunities? And even knowing if it's legit, not legit, and we'll get to the processes of that, and we'll start with you, Mary. Ladies first, considering.
Okay, so for Australia, we're very lucky that we have a presence, and we have Austrade here in Nairobi, and they assist all of the Australian universities and institutions here in Africa and in Kenya. And all of our institutions, we do have agents here in Nairobi, in Kenya, in Africa, and they are our registered agents for our institutions, and a list of those registered agents is available on our websites. So they definitely are legit. They have agreements with the institutions directly. And we do encourage the students to use an agent because it's a free service to the students.
It's a free service?
Yes, because they are our registered agents and the institutions pay the agents a commission. So that's how it works. Okay. So the benefit of using an agent, I think, is like if you want to apply for a job.
Yes.
You have to submit all of your documents, selection criteria, and everything in order. If you make one mistake, it goes to a huge HR company, and they will just throw your application aside if it's not set out completely correctly. So similar with applying to institutions, the admissions is huge. They have a huge amount of applications. So if these applications aren't submitted correctly, then they may also go in the trash can. Yeah. So the agent is expert at guiding you how to submit that application. Also, we waive the application fee for our agents, and in the event that you don't hear back, the agent can directly contact us to follow up on that application. And then later down the line, when you get your offer and you're ready to go, that agent can assist you with everything to do with your visa application.
Aha.
Yeah.
All right. And John, then my question would be, since you two are on the same line, what is it that, or who is viable for it? And I know I said earlier, maybe they have a chance. I don't know if I do have a chance. Are there age limits to it? And what exactly would you be looking for from them to be able to be like, you know what, you can apply now, or you can't? How do we choose that?
That's an excellent question. The profile of students you're looking at are categorized into two.
Okay.
Undergraduate students and postgraduate students. Undergraduate students are students who are looking either to study a bachelor's degree as a first degree, or who, for one reason or the other, are not able to study a bachelor's degree and therefore begin with a package program, such as a foundation year or a diploma.
Okay.
Now, looking at bachelor's degrees, different universities have different policies, but generally we are looking at students who have completed their KCSE or A-levels, Cambridge A-levels. So for example, for Murdoch University, the university I represent, a student who's completed KCSE and got a mean grade C+ and above qualifies to join most of our undergraduate degree programs that are standard.
C+.
C+ and above.
Okay.
For other universities, for example, the University of Western Australia, which Mary represents, which is a group of 8, you might find that there's different policies, and that that information would be available on the website or by reference to the agents. So that's a student then who goes direct to a bachelor's degree.
Yes.
Then there's a student who didn't score the minimum entry requirement to take a bachelor's degree, and that's why we have colleges who are our pathway providers. So students who have a C-, C-plane, for example, or
they
students...
still have an opportunity.
Yes, they still have an opportunity. So they can take something that is called a foundation year or a diploma. You find that most of the universities in Western Australia, like Murdoch and University of Western Australia, have colleges where you take a diploma for 1 year that leads you to the second year of your bachelor's degree, or a foundation year that leads you to the first year of a bachelor's degree. And then we have the postgraduate. So normally the age limit for those undergraduate students would be about 21 years.
21.
Then we have the master's students, basically students who have completed a bachelor's degree and who are looking to study their related master's degree. For example, if a student has a bachelor's degree in nursing, we'd normally expect that they'll take a master's degree, say, in healthcare management, because it's related, or a Bachelor of Business Administration into a Master of Business Administration. And that student would be anywhere between about 23 years to about 30 years. 33 at most is what we are looking for. And then we are also looking for students who've taken their A-levels, and we look at the grades again. Normally, we look at 3 subjects in A-levels, and we expect a student to score at least 5 points out of 3 subjects in A-levels on average. And again, different degrees and universities might have different requirements, but that's generally what the rule of thumb looks like.
And that is Australia. Then it's now DMK, sorry, forgive me. DMK, over 2,000 students in the USA. What is it that you look for, and what are the criteria for them to be able to make the cut?
Yeah, most of my students are master's students.
Master's students.
Master's students. And a few of them are undergraduate students, but those are the ones who scored mostly excellent grades, and they were able to get scholarships, because undergraduate studies in the US is quite expensive. So most of my students are master's students, because it's easier for master's students even to get visas. For the US, what we look at is we have partnerships with some schools, so they have waived application fees. Some have lowered it. And then we have also partnered with some companies that offer unsecured student loans for master's students for 1 year or 2 year programs. That one makes it very affordable for students. So coming from Kenya, you just need to have at least 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. That is a strong second lower for an undergraduate student. Then we're able to apply to a school. Once we get the admission, we apply for a loan from Empower. Then once we have the loan, we send to the school the documents that you funded. We get the Form I-20. Then we start preparing you now to go to the embassy. One of the advantages that I realized with the US is the visas are cheaper, just $185. And then also there is a service fee that you can pay once you're sure you have gotten the visa. You can pay before, which is like $350. But for the undergraduate students also, yes, we have partnered with some colleges. For students who have at least a C, and you want to start with a diploma, you can go to a community college, and you start there. Community colleges are quite affordable. Then these community colleges have partnered with sister universities where you can transition, and within 4 years you have your bachelor's. 2 years for diploma, 2 years for the bachelor's. Then within 4 years you have your bachelor's if you never did well in your high school. So that's one way. The other way is for people who have at least an A- and an A. You apply for scholarships. There are so many of them. Then you get to, Kenyan students are able to write academic documents well. That is, you're able to tell your story and all those essays that are required. Then they look at your story. Mostly it's the essays that gets Kenyan students these scholarships. You have the grade, but you have to tell a story of where you've come from and all that, and what you focus and what you desire. to achieve, then the school will make its determination, then you get the admission. For the US, if you have a scholarship, then you're sure you also have an air ticket. So it's most of the schools will give you the scholarship and an air ticket and a living expense, but you have to work for the school. It's like a work-study program. With 20 hours a week for the US. That's the allowed time that you have to work. So you work for 20 hours a week, but the school pays you some money for your upkeep. If you have a scholarship, you're sorted. They also give you some allowance to come back during the summer break.
It sounds really good. I'm just over here wondering what happened to me. What was this conversation? Where was it happening? But then we're due on a break, and we can't sit here and pretend that we've not heard the stories from our friends, from government. It's making news, you know, how some of these dreams, some of these pathways that have been put out there to guide us or give us the dream life, the dream study, the dream job, dream everything, sometimes are not turning out to be as good as the dream or even close to what the dream looks like. We've had heartbreaking stories from parents where they've given money and nothing has happened. We've had people who've gone out of the country to get this education, and some of them really have not gotten either the education or maybe a place to live or something. And then there are other factors as well of places that have very, very good opportunities, but also language barriers. And this information probably is not given to them earlier for them to learn these things. But we'll be dealing in all of that after the break. Right now, though, we need to catch a quick break. But the question that we are asking you today is very, very simple. The question of the day is, if imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low, language barriers are minimal, where would you go and why? Imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal, where would you go and why? That's a dream. Getting all of that combined together, beautiful. I'd like to find out from the audience as well what it is that their dream is and where they would like to go. But all of that after the break. Welcome back to Your World Thursday edition. I'm just looking at your feedback, which I will get to in just a bit, just reminding you what the conversation today is about. You have a dream. You want to go out there, out of the country. You want to go abroad, Australia, Germany. You want to go to the UK, Canada, all of that. But you have no one there. You want to get a better education, and you have no one there. How do you go about it? And very interesting things have been said here, but I just have a question on something that we'll get into in just a bit. But first, the question that we are asking you today is very simple. Imagine that you are studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? Imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and language barriers are minimal. Where would you go? NTV Kenya on all of our social media platforms. Let us know what that dream for you is like. And if you're already living that dream, how is it going? Please, Twin Towers, let us feel like Ewaru over here and want to follow you, all right? But just before the break, Dennis, you just mentioned that all these opportunities that are available for students who actually get scholarships, and there's a loan to go out there, and they have 20 hours to work. And my question would be, 20 hours a week on campus, can I work anywhere else, or it's just I'm limited to the 20 hours and that's enough, that's it?
Yeah, as a student, in order to work outside campus, you would need a work permit. And as a student, you cannot get that. So you cannot work outside campus.
So as a student,
and there are so many jobs on campus. Yeah. Okay. So you are allowed to work on campus.
Okay.
But in Canada, you can work anywhere. As long as you're getting your grades right and everything, you're okay to work for as long as you want.
As long as you don't miss your classes, your grades are good, you can do 55 other jobs.
Yeah, you can work out there. Okay. But it takes like 1-2 months to get a work permit in Canada as a student. But in the US, it's a tedious process. You have to graduate, you have to do your internship, and then you apply now for the work permit. When you're going for your internship.
This is in the US?
This is in the US.
So it's not that I'm a student and I'm working at the same time.
You can work, but on campus. But you can't go outside campus too.
Okay.
That would be illegal. So for the US, you have to work on campus, but there are so many jobs to work on campus. Then you also realize that with the US, the studies are so rigorous that even managing to work on campus, because working on campus is mandatory. It's not like an option. Whether you have a scholarship or not, you have to work. So this is because you must get something they call the social security number,
yes.
SSN.
Yes.
For you to get a social security number, it has to be tied to a job. So you have to get a job first on campus,
yes.
then you apply for an SSN. Because without an SSN, you cannot open a bank account, you can't do anything. So you have to get a job first
yes.
on campus.
Yes.
The jobs are there in the cafeteria, everywhere, in the hostels. The jobs are there in the library. So you can get a job, then you get your SSN, then you're able to do whatever is required to be done with the SSN, that opening bank accounts and all those things.
Okay.
So for the US, working as a student is mandatory.
That's very interesting.
So and in most campuses, you can earn as much as $2,000 a month, which will help you, of course, to pay your rent.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's also good for a student because you're earning something as a student. 2,000 is not a little money.
It's not
That's
little
like
money.
260,000 shillings.
Yeah.
So with that, you can be able to pay your rent, you can buy your food, you can do your stuff. So working is not like optional for a student because you also have to live, you have to survive. There are no many parents in this country who keep sending you money to pay your rent, to buy your food and all that. So you have to work one way or the other to survive.
Okay.
So,
okay.
and also for a master's student, you also don't want to rely too much on a student loan to survive, because you can say, oh, I want the student loan, then it can pay for my living costs and for my tuition. So you'd rather minimize the amount of loan burden that you have by the time you're graduating and then compensate with work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got that. Is it the same, Mary, in Australia?
It's slightly different in between the US and Canada, I might say. So for Australia, students on a student visa, they are allowed to work 24 hours per week, or they say 48 per fortnight, because some weeks the students may have exams, so they might want to cut back their workload for their study, and then they have break week the next week, so they can flip it and stack it up to 48 hours on the break week. So 24 hours while they're studying, plus they can work unlimited during the break time. And in Australia, we have a slightly different calendar to, say, the UK. We have 2 semesters, so the intakes are in February and July. Semester 1, February to May, and 1 month winter break in June, because remember, Australia, we are down under, upside down, so the season is reversed.
Yes.
But in winter time, they could work unlimited for the whole month of June. Semester 2 is July to November, with 3 months of summer break. December, January and February. Again, they can work unlimited during these times, so that's quite a lot of time that they could work unlimited. 4 months during the year and 24 hours per week during semester time.
Okay, just to tag you in on that one as well, John, during the winter breaks, are you allowed to come back home? Is because they said that you also get a ticket back home to come visit sometimes from the US. Is it the same there, that you also have like a, one way you can go home and come back to join the students during the next semester?
Yes, it is. Students who are on winter break can potentially come back to Kenya to visit their parents and relatives and friends.
Yeah.
I have, for example, a number of students who've mentioned that they'll be coming home for the Christmas holiday.
Yes.
And that's amazing to see their community in Kenya. But also remember that students can work a maximum of 48 hours every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And during the break time, they can work full time.
Yeah.
And
so you weigh your options.
When I put myself in the shoes of a student who's reliant on remittances from Kenya to Australia, and who could potentially make a tidy income during the holiday by working full-time, gain some experience and skills, I normally advise the students to strike a balance between coming home and finding time to develop their own career and make an income so that they can become self-reliant. Remember that when Mary mentioned that the minimum wage is $24 per hour, that's the minimum wage.
Okay.
And that's about 2,000 Kenya shillings if we want to bring the point home. And working on average 4 hours a day, that's about 8,000 shillings per day. And that's minimum wage. And it means that during surges, when there's a lot of opportunities for work in Australia, the employers can pay more.
Yeah.
So students could, of course, build experience and be able to subsidize their cost of living in Australia by working. And that's why I'm always an advocate of balancing the two. Okay. Some choose never to come. Some choose to come all the time.
Yeah.
And I think we need to look at averages.
Yeah. What is the balance?
What's the critical mass?
Yeah. Okay. And just to find out about what to study, are there specific things that are probably you're into STEM or you're doing the sciences, applied sciences? Do you have higher opportunities in Australia if you study certain things? And if you're looking at the US, Canada, UK, are they looking for certain, if we want nurses, we're looking for people who are doing math and all of that? What is the balance? And do we need to know that information to know where to go? Because probably they offer better education when it comes to certain subjects.
Excellent question. There's a list that is published by the government, which is called the skills list. If you look at that list, you might find courses that are in high demand.
Yeah.
For example, courses at the moment that touch on nursing, the bachelors of nursing, because it leads students to being registered nurses in Australia.
Okay.
And that makes that's a very coveted area of study, because it creates nurses who have a license to practice in Australia at a time when those kind of jobs are in high demand.
Okay.
Of course, there's other courses that are coming up, cutting-edge courses such as information technology. And when we speak about that, we're talking about artificial intelligence and data science. The world is now moving towards artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And I would really encourage Kenyan students to consider learning those skills, not just to use things like ChatGPT, but also to create machines that can learn.
Yeah.
And that is taught in the Bachelor of Information Technology, specializing in artificial intelligence. The other one is data science.
Okay.
Because of massive data that has been brought about by internet, then students who study data science, a course such as the Bachelor of Data Analytics, then are taught how to use tools that enable them to refine that data and create meaning out of it.
Okay.
And that's key in a world where there's too much information.
Yeah.
Courses also that touch on engineering are sought after in a big way, particularly because Western Australia is, for example, the largest producer, like one of the key drivers of the economy is iron ore mining, and that means that engineers are sought after. Okay. Courses such as sustainable development, the masters and the bachelors of sustainable development. Okay. How do you drive an economy that is growing so fast in a sustainable way, so that you don't end up crashing it because of economic activities? There's a whole range of courses to choose from, but those are just some of the ones that, from a personal perspective and experience, I think I highly recommend for Kenyan students.
Okay, yeah. Okay. For the US, Dennis, what subjects or courses are we looking at that are probably highly sought after, or will probably get the best education from that area?
Yeah, for the US, you have to look at STEM, advantages of doing STEM and non-STEM courses. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So for courses that are designated STEM, because you want to look at the end result, if you are doing STEM in the US,
yes,
you are given 3-year work study, work permit after graduation to work, like for 3 years. If you're doing a STEM course, for example, if you're doing engineering, you're doing Bachelor of Maths, you're doing IT. So if then some universities have designated even project management as a STEM course. So if you take STEM, you have 3 years for you to be able to adjust your status to get permanent resident, for example. But if you do something that is an art, like Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts, you only have 1 year. So when you're looking at the course that you want to do, you want to look at the end result of what will happen after I graduate. So if you're doing Master of Arts, for example, you now understand you only have 1 year to get a job, or you have to come back to Kenya
if you don't get a job.
Yeah. So, but if you're doing STEM, it's an on-demand course. Yes. It pays well, and you have 3 years for you to be able to figure things out. It's the advantage. So whenever we are applying for courses for our students, the students in our programs, that is the Africa Airlift Initiative, we normally go for the for STEM courses.
Okay.
Now, we also have nursing there. America has a shortage of nurses, like 1.2 million right now. They don't know where to get them. Yeah, so they have that problem. And then with the advantage with nurses is papers. Like universities come to, hospitals come to universities to book students. This one will work for us. This one will work. So you are booked by the time you get out of college.
Yeah.
So, so because nursing is easier for you to get papers, to work and all that, and to earn a good salary as a nurse, you can also transition from your bachelor's to nursing. So there is something we call accelerated nursing.
Okay.
That if for someone who has a bachelor's degree, you can be able to do an accelerated nursing within 2 years, and you have a bachelor's in nursing, just because you have another degree, within 2 years, and you have a practicing license, and you can work as a nurse. Then also, if you have a C or a C+, you can begin with a pre-nursing at a college, community college, then you graduate with a diploma in nursing, then you transition to nursing. Or you can go there with your bachelor's and go to nursing straight and do your nursing and become a nurse. So nursing is one of the hot gigs anywhere in the world right now, especially after COVID. Like in the US, so many nurses got tired, so many died, and they needed to replace all these healthcare workers. It's not just nurses, it's people who work in the healthcare industry.
Yes.
Yeah, so the healthcare industry is one of the best. Even with your bachelor's, you can see how you can go to do public health administration. It's something you can do with your Bachelor of Arts, and you are straight into the healthcare. Yeah. So you need to, we guide our students and talk to them as to the end result. What will happen to you after you graduate? Because in this country, students, you are normally told to go to campus, do this course. Nobody cares. Yeah, so nobody cares what will happen with you afterwards. Yeah. So myself, I found myself at the University of Nairobi doing Bachelor of Arts, but I didn't know what will happen to me afterwards. It's the degree that matters now. But then what will happen later? That's what the government decided for me. Yeah. And then after that, now you are told you have been released to the market, you can go sort yourself out. So for us, we guide the students to know at the end result of your graduation, what we are going to do, because we don't want our students graduate frustrated. So for us, it's our whole process. Once we pick our students, we guide them through. Like we never let you go for like 5-6 years. We have to, even when you're there. Sometimes I take like a month to go around those universities in the US to visit them, to ask, how are you doing? How is everything? Especially right now that we are seeing the US government is at war with, the international students and these universities. So you have to check on them to see how they're doing, how they're maneuvering and all that. And we're also studying the US, so many things are changing daily. We're also trying to keep ourselves updated with what the US government is doing so that we can be able to guide our students better. And to make sure our students are on the right side of the law. Because in the US, you cannot go drinking the way young people do here. If you have a drunk, if you are caught driving, because for the US, you have to, the first thing you need to do when you get there is a driver's license. There are no Futsubishi there, you cannot walk around. You'll be arrested for walking around. And cars are cheap. 200,000, 300,000, you have a car. Shillings. So most of our students, they go there, start driving immediately. So you live here with 300,000, you go there, you are driving. So you must get your license. So don't go out and get caught. Like with this government, if you get caught, your visa is cancelled and you're returned back to Kenya. It's that bad. So if you're caught driving while intoxicated, that's it. Your visa is cancelled. So we are able to guide our students with all these changing things and to guide them and to see how they are doing. If you beat up your girlfriend, visa is cancelled, you are deported. So you cannot take bad behavior. So right now things are so you should not be caught doing anything as an international student in the US right now. So so there are no second chances. Something small, you're back. So we debrief our students and so that if you're going to study, focus on that. Focus on the work that you're doing and your studies, and you'll be fine.
Mary, you can chime in on that even as you tell us what are the opportunities for students once they are done with their studying, because like he said, it's right here we go to school, and when you're out of school, then you start to find out what happens here what happens after I've gotten my degree and all of that? Is there something that the government or probably the institution does to just help those students get a job?
Yeah, I think even while you're studying, there's lots of opportunity in Australia and in Australian universities, because we have this, a lot of the universities have got what we call WIL, W-I-L. It's not Will Smith.
Oh, you know?
It's work integrated learning. So it's unpaid units for credit while you study. So because
what does that mean? Just break it down.
So you would enroll in some units, work integrated learning units. So whether you're doing in the business school or in engineering or in the healthcare, they all have work integrated learning departments, and they will place the students in these industries in Perth to do these units for credit. It's an enormous networking opportunity.
Yes, it is.
While you work in your first year, second year, third year, fourth year if you're doing honours. Usually in fourth year they have 12-week projects, and say the engineering school will place them with these industries in Perth to do these projects. That's huge for networking. So that when the students, if they take all of these opportunities, they are in a prime situation to put their hand up for any graduate positions that come up when they graduate, because they're already connected and known to these employers. So that is a huge thing, because of, John mentioned, we're very resource rich in Western Australia. And so there is a lot of opportunity, and when we speak to our students, it's the students who take on board all of these opportunities that come their way. For example, they can become a uni buddy. The uni buddies are on our website. You just Google uni buddy and you can speak as a future student. You can search somebody who's from Kenya or doing engineering or whatever and just chat to them and see how's life in Perth, whatever. So these uni buddy positions are paid. Also, you can become a uni mentor. So it's the students who take all of these opportunities and do all of the networking who end up key ambassadors for the universities, and they reap what they sow. So there's a lot of opportunity.
So, say, for example, and I know we're due on a break in about a minute or two, if you probably have not gotten an opportunity to work, is there an extension on your visa to give you an allowance to just be like, okay, you've got 2 months, 1 year, 3 years to just be like, tafuta kazi, ukipata, sawa. If you don't get work, good. Then you go back. Or is it different for different courses?
So as a standard procedure for student visa holders in Australia, as soon as they complete at least a 2-year degree program, they are entitled to apply for something called a graduate work visa. And that is not dependent on whether they found work or not. But almost always, at least with the students that I have interacted with, all of them who've been seeking opportunities to work while they are studying, paid work, even before they graduate, they find work. But the graduate work visa is something that every student who completes a 2-year degree can apply for. And remember that in Western Australia, particularly in Perth, because Perth is a regional city, it gives an extra year of the graduate work visa. And that allows a student to continue working in Australia after completing their studies full-time for the duration of the graduate work visa.
How long is that?
On average, it's normally about 2 years. So with an extra year, it comes to 3 but it's dependent on a case-to-case basis on the student's application and profile and the skills that are in demand at that particular time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're going to take that break right now. Do we have time for the feedback on WhatsApp, or do we catch that after we come back from the break? Maybe we catch that from the break. But the question that we're asking you today is very, very simple. It's straightforward. Imagine if you had the opportunity of studying in a country where the living costs are low and language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? Imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and the language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? We'll be coming back with your feedback and questions from our audience as well after this break. Welcome back, welcome back. I'm looking at your feedback on Facebook, and interesting, very interesting feedback. The question that we are asking you today, even as we talk about you leaving this country to go abroad to further your education, get a better life, that dream life that you're thinking about, and the processes that you need to go through. Yeah, the question we're asking is, imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? Imagine studying in a country where the living costs are low and language barriers are minimal. Where would you go and why? And just before we check on WhatsApp, because I know we have a bit of feedback on WhatsApp, on Facebook we have Aura Maadi Audrey who says, France. Are you offering scholarships? Are there scholarships? Steve Karume says Portugal, but then France. What would that mean with the language there? There would be a language barrier there if you're coming from Kenya. That means you'll probably have to study French. Yes. Okay. Steve Karume says Portugal seems to meet all these requirements: low living standards, less language barriers, and better education altogether. I'm not the expert here. The way I'm looking at all of you, is that an opportunity?
I think the official language there would be Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah, so also there's a language barrier there.
Yeah, then you need to look at all the other factors, like can you work while you're studying and you get a graduate work visa?
Yeah.
And how is the economy? Do you manage to get jobs while you're studying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Pardon Gatluok says, will you provide my visa and air ticket NTV Kenya? Us? Sisi. Hi. We are the people are here who are probably offering those things, so I hope you're tuned in. And let's take a look at what's happening on our WhatsApp this morning. This is Peter Akulemi from Elgon View, Eldoret. For me to get the scholarship, do I have to pay before or after I get the visa? Maybe you can answer that once we come back to you. DMK. Morning, it's Albert Denjeshe, a student at Rongo University, taking Bachelor of Education Science, and my future aim is to further my studies in abroad countries, more so the US. What are the requirements and duration of the same course and availability of the job market in the US? All right, I think that's yours as well. Hello, I'm Melvin. I got a scholarship from South Korea. Their fully funded scholarships were amazing since they offered a 1-year free lesson to be taught Korean, and they covered all the expenses, living stipend, and even allowances. The language barrier was not that bad because the people are polite and they valued the effort you put trying to speak their language. Oh, that's sweet. The scholarship covered my visa and even flight ticket. I got a D+, but I had to work extra hard to get the scholarship from studying at a polytechnic and KMTC so that I could do a degree in Korea. A broad dream is possible. Thank you, Melvin, for sharing that story with us. I once applied for scholarship to study law in the US. I was told it only caters 25% of the total cost of learning. It is very costly. Dennis, tuko kwako sana leo. Hello. Reese from Nairobi did a bachelor in science, nursing, going to Australia after graduation. Is that cumbersome? All right. Langat Dennis, a student in Kenya Medical Training College. I'm watching you live talking about working abroad. My question is, can I finish doing my diploma in nursing and get a chance to study abroad for further studies and work there? Okay. Maxwell Anasema, my question is to Australia. How are you? Where will I begin the application process? I'm already done with my secondary studies, both work visa and study visa. Which sites and how? Okay. Where can I study nursing with a C- grade? All right.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Okay. Good morning, NTV Kenya. Ask the guests about optometry vacancies abroad, especially in the US and Australia. Have done it, and I have a dream to practice abroad. Thank you. I am Anne. My question goes to DMK. Wameshika jina. In case you have identified a certain course, say a master's in medical radiation physics in some Canadian university, say McGill University, do you need to standardize your grades? To what extent do you help students that is in terms of visa fees, tuition, relocation, etc. With a student visa, can someone be allowed to work? Is there an age limit to be considered for Africa Airlift program? Okay. Hi. There's more of those questions, but let's just probably take care of that. DMK, you were on the spot for a couple of questions. Do you remember all of them?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So the first one, like someone is asking whether after completing their nursing, they can be able to go and continue there. Yeah, so for the US, there's something we do called a transfer program.
Okay.
One of my partners, Missouri State University, they accept transfer students, whereby you take your KMTC grades, you transfer there, then they cut the BSc to 2 years. That is bachelor's in nursing.
Okay.
But for students who are doing nursing, for example, once you complete your KMTC, please do the license. It will be required. Because now as a nurse in the US, there are classes you have to go to the hospital. So you need the Kenyan license before you get the American license. Yes. Okay. So once you complete your nursing, take the license, then we can transfer the credits that you have for your diploma there. Then you'll be able to do your bachelor's in 2 years and you practice. We also, and you'll be able to do the exam for the nursing council in the state, and then you'll be able to allow them to practice there. So there is that. Not just for nursing. Even if you're doing IT diploma, we can transfer credits to a university that we partner with called Grand Valley State, and then you're able to do your bachelor's in IT in 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, somebody else asked whether we give. For someone who wants to go to, say, McGill University in Canada, whether we are able to give to finance. So there's something, we have loans, including for air ticket, for your 1 month rent before you figure things out there.
Okay.
Yeah, we have our own internal circle that we give our student loans, and then because we know they'll make it, they'll pay us. There's no security for it.
There is no security?
No.
Very trusting.
We trust that you pay us.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. How's that going though? I'd like.
It's good because now we have also registered with credit companies there.
Okay.
You know the CRBs there.
Yes, the CRBs there.
Yes, and those ones are serious. So if you get listed for not paying any loan that is listed there, you cannot even rent a house. So for even landlords, they go to check your credit score to rent you a house.
Yeah.
Even to sell you a car with your own money. You must have a good credit score. It's that strict. So for them, systems work. So we trust the systems that you cannot survive without doing the right thing. That you will pay the money one way or the other. This is a little money from us. How about a company like Empower that will loan you even 5 million shillings without any security? They trust the systems, will have you pay them back. Yeah. Because there is no security. It's that you are a bright student. You have proven that by the course that you've been admitted to, and you'll be able to pay. So we're able to, for someone who is studying in Canada, Empower will give you a tuition loan. So you must prove you have some money, say 1 million shillings in your account, so that you're able to pay for living costs. So you accompany the loan to sort your tuition, and then some bank statement to show that you have some money for your living expenses, at least for 1 year. So that one is doable. So it's very possible for someone who is doing a course like that to even get a scholarship, or even something we call a teaching assistantship, whereby you go and start teaching. If you're a master's student, you can teach, first-year student, and then you are paid by the school some salary, and they offset your tuition fees. You pay nothing, or you can pay a half. If you get a half teaching assistantship, you pay a half of the fees. If you get a full one, you work for the school as a teacher, and then you pay you pay a half of the school fees. Then you can get a half of the loan. So we get the loan, but we try to use other mechanisms to avoid it, so that you don't have the loan burden by getting the assistantships and the scholarships because they are there. Then there is somebody else who asked who has asked about the last.
Is it the C minors?
Someone was asking whether the C minors you can be able to study
nursing.
Nursing.
Yeah,
it's very possible. With community college. Apparently, one of my partners is going to Tacoma Community College in Seattle. At Tacoma, they don't look at, if you have even a knee, you can start something, you can do something. They are that open. So it's not just a C minus. Provided you completed Form 4, you can be able to do something. It's the thing that we have introduced in this country. Even someone who just managed to complete class 8, you can go to a technical training college and do something. It doesn't mean that the fact that you're not good in school doesn't mean that you cannot be able to hold a hammer and a nail and build a house.
Yeah.
So there's something you can do with your life.
Okay.
So it's the same. They will try to see what you can do. So it's not just with a C minus, you can be able to do nursing.
Okay.
And then once you complete your 2-year diploma, they call it associate degree. So once you do your associate degree, then you're able to do your bachelor's degree, which will take you another 2 years.
All right.
Yeah. So I believe I've answered some of the questions.
So much more, and even from our audience. But there was another question about the optometry. And yes.
I'll take that one. Because there were some for nursing that John can follow up on. So at the University of Western Australia, we offer optometry. So it's a postgraduate. So you would have to do 3 years of biomedicine and then 2 years of optometry to become a doctor. So I don't know, was the question about the study or working?
I think both.
Both.
Yeah.
So then later, the process when you graduate, you would have to register. In Australia, and UWA being one of the very few universities in Australia that offers optometry, then they would put you in touch with the Australian Medical group where you register, and they would help you. Remember earlier I said that they do the placements, and we have the hospitals there, the Lions Eye Institute. So while you're a student at UWA, you will be put in touch with all of those optometry specialists.
Okay. And that means the opportunities are there for work.
the opportunity is there. Yeah.
Okay. There was another question just before we open up the floor for them about how people can for people who want to go to Australia, how can they apply? Where do they go? Maybe just one more time. I know Mary had probably mentioned that earlier, but just for this audience, probably they joined in a bit later.
Yeah, so for those who want to apply to study either in Murdoch University or University of Western Australia, we have the list of our trusted agents on our websites. So it's easy. Go to the internet, check out the Murdoch University website or the University of Western Australia website. Click on apply. Because of the number of applications that we receive from Kenya, we normally process them through agents so that they can assist to do the paperwork for us. The application process, as Mary said earlier, is free. So students just need to pick any agent, and the agent will end up linking them to us, because those certificates and applications normally end up on our desks, and then we process them. There was another question about KMTC, which I really would want to answer, because nursing has become like the love of my profession. And I always tell Murdoch University that in as much as we are looking at bringing in students from different faculties, I take on a lot of nursing students simply because I'm biased, because I come from a family of nurses and I see the impact that the nurses make in the world. So to answer the question about KMTC, recently Murdoch University checked the syllabus that KMTC offers in terms of the Diploma of Nursing, and we equated it to our offering for the Bachelor of Nursing. So for students from Kenya who have a diploma from the Kenya Medical Training College, or who have the practicing license from the Nursing Council of Kenya, they can apply to Murdoch University, and instead of taking the nursing degree in 3 years, they can potentially get credit exemptions and do it in 2 years. But at least they are assured of an instant place if they want to do the full 3 years. Speaking about the C-, that's where we go back to the package programs. So we have the Murdoch College. Students apply for something called the Murdoch University Preparatory Course, and they take it for they can do 6 months, which is accelerated, or about a year, which is the normal one. And once they finish it, then they are admitted into the Bachelor of Nursing. Alternatively, if a student has a C+, which we have recently reduced from a B plane to C+, they can just get admitted straight into nursing. And Murdoch University has done that simply because of the kind of performance and excellence that we've seen coming from Kenyan students. So we took a deliberate decision, and we are the first Australian university to start admitting Kenyan students who have a C+ direct into our bachelor's programs.
Okay, great. I hope that's clear. The floor is open. I know you've been waiting. We can start with you.
Good morning. My name is Steve Mugo.
Yes.
I've been a student at the United States International University of Africa, USIU. And my question would be, how do I get these jobs? I've tried applying remote because I've been more or less of a freelancer, trying to get certifications and AI, cybersecurity, networking and all that. But how do I get a chance to get to these jobs? They could be there or remotely, but whenever you get to these quote-unquote sites, you find some are scammers, you know, and some you have to pay to get the quote-unquote credibility. So how do I do it, or what's the process?
Okay. Who would you like to direct that to so that they can marinate on it as we get another question? John?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Good. Okay, we can have another question. Yes, Nelly? Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, hi, my name is Neely, and my question is, how can international students cope with loneliness when they have no family members or any family network abroad? Because beyond academics, loneliness or feeling isolated can affect your mental health, which will affect your study experience.
Yeah. Okay. Mary, you answer that? Okay, yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Juliet, and my question goes to all the panelists. Like, do you provide the hackathon for the students, whereby the engineer and a student like me, okay, whoever is doing a different course. So do you provide the hackathon whereby all the students will meet and they share minds, and then you talk to them about this and this and that?
Okay.
You can take it.
Okay, you can take that. We have another one. Yes. Oh, we have someone behind you. Ukona microphone. Yes, please.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Hilda Gadura. I'm into architecture. Maybe this question goes to maybe Mary or John. I wanted to ask about, is there any financial proof I need to go and study abroad?
We can barely hear you.
Sorry.
Karibu.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, is there any financial proof I need to go and study abroad?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have any other question? Okay, we can answer those first then. We'll start with the question about, oh, you have a question? Okay, yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Margaret. I have this question of somebody who has done caregiving, nurse assistant. What are the requirements to study abroad, maybe in Australia, or maybe the scholarships and everything related to caregiving?
Caregiving.
Yeah.
Specifically caregiving.
Yes.
Okay,
caregiving.
Fantastic. You have another question? Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
My name is Brenda. My question is, do you guys have an age limit for the scholarships?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa. Haya. Swali ya kwanza ilikuwa jobs and scamming sites. All right, John, I think that was directed to you.
Thank you for the question. So in terms of jobs in Perth, Western Australia, what I would encourage you is look at your profile, depending on, have you finished your bachelor's degree? Did you just finish high school, or so that you go into a bachelor's, or so that you go into a master's if you have a bachelor's? And then once you identify an agent and apply, and then we take you through the process that we call the genuine student process.
Okay.
We will then assist you throughout and give you the tips on the documents you need to have, so that then the agent applies for your visa. Once you receive your visa, the visa allows you to study and work. And while you're in Australia, while you're studying, there are multiple resources that are there to assist you to secure a genuine job. One is what Mary mentioned earlier, which is called Work Integrated Learning. The other one is we have a career center. Mm-hmm. And the one I find to be most effective is a community of students. So, for example, all the students that I receive from Kenya at the moment, I'll always introduce them to the students who I took to Australia during earlier study periods, because that network assists them to point them to the right direction in terms of what they need to do to secure positions for work in Australia while they are studying. So that's to answer the question about work. Then there was a question about the hackathon, right?
Yes.
The engineers hackathon.
Yeah.
So in Murdoch University, there's something called the Murdoch University Guild Clubs. So whatever you're interested in, say you love soccer, you love netball, you want to be in an engineers club. Once you're there, you identify the office that is called the Murdoch Guild Clubs that coordinates all the clubs, and you'll definitely find a group of like-minded students who are pursuing something similar to what you want to do. The last time I was in Perth, in Western Australia, I stumbled upon a group of students who are experimenting with hydrogen cars. Like they developed hydrogen cars and they were racing them. Okay, hydrogen-powered cars to see who had the car that could drive the longest distance without breaking down. And I sat there and started taking videos, and I actually had to walk away because I realized I could sit there all day because the kind of cars they developed, they were not running out of charge.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of places to find your true north.
Oh, wow.
The other thing, the question you asked about
caregiving.
Your profile again goes back to, do you have a C+ at KCSE, or have you taken A-levels, which means Cambridge or Pearson A-levels, and got 5 points in 3 subjects? That means you can apply directly into the Bachelor of Nursing that has a good bearing when you compare what nurses do and what caregivers do. Alternatively, if you do not qualify for that, see if you can enroll for a nursing course in Kenya, in KMTC, that leads you to get a practicing license from the Nursing Council of Kenya, because we do recognize it, and I know that most of the universities in Western Australia recognize it.
Okay.
I don't know if maybe you'd want to add anything onto the point on caregiving.
On caregiving?
Yeah.
Well, we discussed earlier, there's a skills list, and of course nursing is high up on that, and also social work, but that's more at the master's level. Master of Social Work is very
okay. There was something that was directed to, would you like to change into the caregiving part? The caregiving,
if you look at the US, caregivers mostly work in these nursing homes, especially for the elderly. You know,
I wanted to ask if it's the same.
So for us, she's asking about working directly.
Yes.
Maybe for us, we deal with the education. We take people through the education path to go to the work.
Okay.
For her, she wants to come here straight to the job.
Okay.
So that's how I understand her question.
Is that the truth? Is that how? Also, you are okay to further your studies as well? To work, okay.
Yeah, so now for her, she would have to engage, she would have to check with the government, with the agencies that the government has that are genuinely taking caregivers to work directly. Because at the moment, we don't do that ourselves. So then, if you want to do the caregiving jobs, you'll have to enroll for a community college, because I would understand for someone who is doing caregiving, maybe the high school grade was not that good. So you'd rather go to a community college, but they will not believe the caregiving course that you have done here. You have to redo it there. For like, in the US, you redo it for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah, you go and redo it, then you get your certificate. 3 weeks, you're out there working.
Yeah.
But you also have to study now.
Use the microphone, eh?
I think now what you already also have the certificates here. You've already done.
So they want to confirm that you know. That is, you have the Kenyan certificate, but they want to confirm that it's genuine and you know it.
Yeah.
So you are taken through the training for like 3 weeks. It's a confirmation for what you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So and it costs like $1,000 or something. The training. Like,
okay.
You have the Kenyan certificate, yes, but they want to make sure. It's like when you say you are a Kenyan nurse and you have a Kenyan license. They don't want to believe it.
No.
They have to take you through the American exam for nurses.
Yes.
So you have to read. And if you want to do it from here, you have to go to South Africa. That's where they have the testing center. So I don't know whether there is one that has come to Nairobi.
Yes.
But it's okay. You have the Kenyan practicing license for a nurse. But you want to know that you know what you're doing. So you have to go and do the. Yeah, we need to confirm. So for them, they confirm.
Okay.
So then they allow you to go and work. So it's just a 3-week program. Then you're able to go it. But you go through school. So it's easier for the US to go through school if your intention is to, maybe you have to find something to do right now. But it's easier to go through school. If you want to go directly, it's tedious. Nurses go to the US directly, by the way, to work. But the process takes like 3-4 years. when you start. It involves also going out to do the exam, passing. You have to appear in a magazine that they do listing for people, because you go there as a permanent resident directly. So it's a lengthy process, 4 years. So within these 4 years, you could have even have completed your bachelor's, then started working. So education makes it easier. For you, instead of going straight as a nurse. So it's easier as a nurse to go as a student to further your nursing, and then you're able to go and take your studies and then start, of course, working as a nurse.
Okay. There was a question, Mary, about loneliness and the mental state. Yes.
So that's a great question, and that's a question that we face all of the time, and I think Australian universities are very well set up to accommodate this. For example, John mentioned that we have a student guild in all of the universities, and they're a very active bunch, and basically when the students arrive, so from Kenya, they would normally come through our registered agent, so we're connected to the students from when they're future students, and we'll be in touch with the agent about them and onboarding them. When they accept their offer, then they're given over to the transition team at the universities, who guide them, invite them to orientation. Orientation is usually a whole week, and it's an amazing settling in period for the students at the university, where they're introduced to all of these clubs. We have 165 clubs at UWA. There is a club for every nationality, every sport, because Australians are sport crazy. There's just so many clubs, so you are very socialized at UWA and at all of the Australian universities. Then at the Guild, we have a well-being centre that looks after all of our students. For student accommodation, each student accommodation, they also have academic support, well-being support at the residential colleges. And at the university itself, it has international student support. It's a special place for international students to go. So usually when students from Kenya go to, say, UWA, we'll get the list from the different agents, and they would make a WhatsApp group. So all of those students are connected to each other. And like John said, you'll hook them up with the previous lot, so there's a community. Plus also when they arrive at the university, there's an African students group or a Kenyan students group, and they all they're very social and they interact a lot. All of our students have to pay in advance as part of their visa.
That was a question that was asked earlier,
the overseas health cover, so that you are covered for any medical thing, well-being thing. There's a psychologist on campus, and it's available to all of our students. For students staying in the accommodation, usually the first year students, some students or parents say, oh, can they have a studio apartment? And we say, no. First year students are always given a very plain bedroom with one bed, one chair, aircon and whatever. And the reason for that is that they don't want the students to be in the room because they could be crying their eyes out lonely in the room. They want to get them out of the room. So they have all of these shared spaces in the accommodation and lots of activities and a lot of support.
I wanted to take on the question too. So one of the things we have done is we have narrowed to a few universities. We have not scattered students everywhere. Like if you go to Missouri State University right now, we have more than 100 Kenyan students in the school. So you will find people to talk to. The schools are fewer. Then we also have the universities themselves have international support programs for international students. And also, when you get to school, you are busy with your classes, you are busy with work. Sometimes it becomes difficult to even get bored or depressed because you are not seeing people. You are very busy.
Yes.
Like, I have 2 students from the same village in Illinois State University.
Yeah.
And last week I called one of them and asked, how is Bosco? The other one is called Bosco.
Bosco.
How is Bosco? He told me, I saw him last week. I saw him last month. So
Yeah.
I think he's okay.
Yeah.
So these are people who have grown up together, but they are so busy that they don't get to see each other that much.
Okay.
You are busy working, you're busy with your classes. So it's between, you're moving, you're doing something through, and very busy sometimes to even notice even the neighbors who you have, and other international students from even neighboring countries. And also, we also encourage our students to go there and make new friends.
Yeah.
You can meet students from other places, from those countries themselves, from Canada, from the US. You can make new friends. You don't have to go and carry your village.
I think personalities also matter. Maybe she's just thinking how she probably doesn't make friends easily, but if there's a community, you definitely find
there's
a
a
way.
community.
And just before we go to break, I see you had something to chime in on that. We've got about maybe a minute or so.
Okay, maybe just to add something onto that. In Western Australia, there's an association of Kenyans in Australia.
Ooh.
And because I happen to be quite active online, particularly on TikTok, I've noticed that they are also very active. Yes, I am on TikTok. And on TikTok, I share everything and anything about studying abroad, because that's a passion for me.
Yes.
So I noticed that the Kenyans in Western Australia group is extremely active. And on a very light note, I've seen that now what is trending is the summer bunnies, because they're planning to come to Kenya
for
in December, and they're saying that the summer bunnies from Australia will be in Kenya in December. So please find...
Tujichunge.
Yes, that's what they said. And then I would like to conclude by this, because I did my master's at the London School of Economics.
Okay.
And I remember one time when I was speaking to one of the professors, they said, John, I want you to pass and get good grades. But remember, when you leave the university, you will hardly ever tell stories about the number of hours you spent in the library. You'll tell stories about the friends you made, the places you visited, the interactions you made, because those are people who will change your life.
Yes.
And I followed his advice. And since I left the London School of Economics, I have been spoiled for choice in terms of partnerships, networks, job opportunities.
Social capital.
And because of that social capital, if you're in a lonely place, you really can't be in a lonely place because you have people surrounding you.
Absolutely.
And that's a tip I would also like to give to Kenyan students, because it worked for me.
Okay, great. I think,
and finally, one word about Kenyan
it's okay,
students.
we are not in a rush anymore. I've just been told, take your time.
Okay,
so
for
good.
Kenyan students coming to Australia, don't worry, we have lots of chicken.
There's someone who asked a question about
age limit.
No, not the question. It's the theme. The question that you're asking people who are listening to us about language, and I've had people talk about Portugal and
France. Yes.
There are students who studied these languages like French in high school.
Yes.
So it would be okay for you to explore going to France to study. Now, for those of you who studied German, we are helping students to go to study.
Yeah.
Because in Germany, most of the courses are free, even for masters.
Okay.
You just need to have money for living. Education is free, like in Germany.
Free for everyone, or just citizens?
For everybody.
Like,
for international students, for residents, for Germans.
Yeah.
Free. Zero for most public schools.
So I just need money for...
You just need to know German.
Oh, that's the
challenge.
Okay, there's that.
That's the catch.
I need to
so
speak
when someone
the language.
comes and I tell them, would you like to try German? Germany. So they say, no, I don't want to study the language. Get me somewhere we have English. So of course in Germany they offer English courses, but you know you're not going to live in the classroom.
No.
You go to the supermarket.
Yes.
There's nothing labeled in English.
No.
You must be able to buy things, to communicate to people.
Yes.
So even at the embassy, they want to know whether you know the language. And it's actually the simplest thing. If you demonstrate you know the language, they don't bother with a lot of things.
Okay.
So for students, you have to take like 6 months to study the language before, or I've studied it in high school, because there are schools here in Kenya that offer German language all the way to Form 4. It's an examinable subject.
Yes.
So for those for those students who have done German in high school, the easiest of the countries actually for you is Germany. And there are so many opportunities because of their aging population.
Okay.
It's one of the countries in Europe that has the oldest population. Like of the natives.
Yes.
Yeah, so they need young people to work for them. They need all these things. It's one of the places to go.
Surely.
Yeah, but now you have to know the language.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it must be free. Yes.
Kuna age limit ya hizo ama pia miaka yangu 37 niweke.
I think you have better things to do here. And you have and you look like someone with some money.
I'm okay. Yeah. I'm speaking on behalf of cousins and relatives.
Yeah, those relatives, it's okay. For you,
I look like I'm okay.
To kusaidia watu waende.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, so for those countries that are not native English speakers,
yes,
it's important that you understand the language. You're not going to stay in the classroom even if the course is taught in English.
Yes.
But for Kenyans, they look at the English-speaking countries, Canada, UK, Australia, USA. So those are some of the easiest countries for Kenyans.
Yeah.
But you find that there are some other countries in Europe particularly that have no tuition, and you need to study the language. Okay. So you should also be open to it, especially if you are a nurse, you have a Kenyan license. One of the best countries to work with is Germany, because they take you for work directly. But now, study just the language 6 months or 1 year, and then you can just go there to work.
Do we know, as we get our questions from WhatsApp, do we have, what amount of money do I need in the account? Because I need to know how much do I need to live comfortably in some of these places. And I don't know if there's a particular amount of money that, kama hauna 10M, basi wewe tu siningesomea tu huku kwetu. But but what amount of money are we looking at?
So according to the genuine student rules of the Department of Home Affairs that we follow as universities, Australian universities, a student should show evidence that their sponsor has at least 1 year's living expenses in their bank account, plus 1 year's tuition fee.
Aha.
So that's the rule.
Okay,
plus,
that's a rule.
That's a rule.
Okay.
Plus the cost of overseas healthcare, overseas student healthcare.
Yes.
And we have a collaboration between University of Western Australia and Murdoch University, where we are trying to assist students get healthcare through one of the partners called Allianz Care, and get accommodation through a company called Campus Path.
Okay.
So that assists a lot. So students need to show that 1 year's accommodation, 1 year's living expenses, 1 year's tuition. And then...
how much is that in shillings?
Yeah, I'm over here doing the math in my head. I'm just...
1 year's living expenses has been set by the Australian government at 29,710 Australian dollars. The exchange rate...
Yes, thank you.
between the Australian dollar and the Kenya shilling at the moment is about 85 Kenya shillings. So you can do the mathematics.
Ngoja, mko na calculator. Kuna mtu amefanya?
Mwalimu wa math.
So 2 million. Okay.
Okay. Then in addition to that, you add about 2,500 for flight.
Okay.
About 3,000 for overseas student healthcare and the tuition, depending on your course, the course that you've chosen.
Okay.
And your sponsor, who should be someone who's related to you, your parent, your sibling, your grandparent, your uncle or auntie, depending on the university's policy, needs to sign an affidavit that they'll support you and show their bank statements, just to show that they have the strength and the ability to support you as a genuine student to study in Australia, to create the confidence that you are a student whose sole objective is to study.
Okay.
It's clear that when you go there, you get the graduate work visa and you can study and work.
Yeah.
But you need to show evidence that you are a strong candidate to study.
And we are getting out of this country to go get nini.
Besides the point, education.
Niseme ama nisiseme? Munaenda kutafuta nini kule eti?
Okay.
Is it the same in the US as well? What amount of money do I need?
For the US, it's a little bit different when it comes to funding.
Yes.
The first person to verify that you have the money and that the embassy looks at is the school.
Okay.
You have to convince the school that you have money for tuition, you have money for living expenses, you have money for insurance. So one of the ways to convince the school is to have the loan. You apply for the loan when you are here from Empower. Okay. Once you get the admission letter, you apply for Empower. Empower gives you a loan that covers living costs. It also covers tuition in the insurance.
Okay.
So you just give that to the school and you are covered. So that letter is what you're going to take to the embassy to show that you have an international student loan to help you with your studies. Now, if you don't have that, for example, if you have a graduate assistantship from the school, it covers your tuition and your living expenses. You don't need anything else when you're going to the embassy. You just need that. But you also need some money in your pocket for your air ticket and all that, but nobody asks about those.
Okay.
You just need the money in your pocket.
Somehow.
So if you're going to a community college, for example, a community college is cheaper in the US because tuition is around $4,000 per semester. So 4,000, like 500,000 shillings thereabout per semester. You need to show that you have money for 2 years. That is like $1 million, and plus another 500,000 for your initial living expenses because they expect you're going to work. So with like 1.5 million, you can show in a bank statement of some of our dependents, someone who is close to you. You can be able to go and study. That one, the school will take it, and the embassy will be looking at it, and that money has to be there in the account. Now, for Canada, for master's students, the Empower will give you loan for tuition only.
Okay.
So you must have that for the loan for when you're submitting your papers, because for Canada, Australia, UK, you submit papers.
Yes.
For US, you show up in person. So it's different.
Okay.
So for the US, it's an in-person interview.
Okay.
You and the interview asking you questions.
Yes.
Yeah, so for Canada, you submit paperwork.
Yes.
So they have to do all the verifications and all that.
Background check and all that.
Background check, all that. So for Canada now, when you go there, you have the loan covering your tuition. You need to have a bank statement with us $1 million shillings for your living expenses for the first 1 year. So it's 1 year plus the loan. That is like $1 million shillings. With Canada, you're good. That is for master student. But if you're an undergraduate student, if you don't have a full scholarship that is covering all these things, you must show that you're able to pay the school fees, of which they may ask you to pay first. Like the UK, you pay first. They don't tell you, give us bank statement. You pay school fees.
Just pay.
So you pay, they say 1.2 million for the first 1 year. Then once you come with that confirmation of payment, it's a confirmation you have the money. So you say your uncle is going to pay for you. Uncle, pay 1 year. Then you're assured, you're like maybe 80% certain this visa is coming because you have the proof that you have the capacity to pay your school fees. So it's a little bit different for all these countries.
Different countries, so you need to do a bit of research.
It's the easiest financially to study in the US, especially before Trump. America was the easiest of all these countries when it comes to funding because it's about kujitetea at the embassy. These other embassies are dealing with what they can see, the papers that are before them and everything. But for these others, ni tuambie we ni nani, unaenda wapi, na kwa nini unaenda kusoma. So for you, it's about kujitetea at the USM. That's what made it a little bit different. Because it's about how believable you are to the person. What's your story at the embassy? What is your plan after graduation? They ask you all these questions. So it's all about your story at the US Embassy.
I think it's
for this other, it's about paperwork.
I think it's interesting that we get to share our stories. But just before that, we've got plenty of questions on WhatsApp, and our time, I think we have about 10 minutes to the end of the show. So maybe we can just look at some of the questions and have them answered. Please, Mikali, ask the panel if they support also education opportunities in European countries, and if so, which agencies here in Kenya are best suited? DMK utatusaidia na hiyo. What are the procedures for one to get an opportunity to work as he study in either US or Australia? I think we covered that as well. Morning, I'm Alex from Moore University doing political science and public administration. Can I do other degrees like finance or law abroad under scholarship? Good morning. I'm interested in studying abroad and chasing this dream that I have. I saw you on NTV station. Please reach out. I wanted to ask about Bachelors of Science in Community Health. Okay. Albert, what are the requirements? I think we went through this one. Went through Albert. Yes, we went through that. Hello NTV, please remember to give us the panelists' contacts for further consultation. We will do that. Gideon, what's the what's the process of applying for foundation courses in Australia without IELTS, and are there scholarships? I'm David Ronald. My dream is to study forensic science abroad. My question is it 100% to get employed abroad after completing your course, and after how long? Fred is asking for opportunities for furthering... it's Fred asking for opportunities for furthering my education in Australia, having higher national diploma in building and construction. My name is Vera Lynn. Have completed my bachelor degree in statistics and IT, graduating in December. How can I get scholarship to study in Australia? Would like to do a PhD, and nobody has talked about PhDs. We've just been talking about masters and undergrads. Would like to do PhD, give more information. I have a degree in business administration, a master's in governance and ethics in the US, in Canada, or in Australia. How do I get a job opportunity in Australia? Okay. How do I get the scholarship to go study abroad? My name is Patricia. I would like to know how to apply for the nursing course in Australia. Okay. What about one who completed school some years ago but still have the desire to study? The dream is on. The fact that you're asking that, then you're on the right path. Good morning, really informative session. Quick one, I have an undergraduate degree in Bachelor of Arts in Communication, and I have a diploma in Business Information Technology. Which career path can I take if I want to do masters in Australia, and how is the employment industry like there for people with my education background? I'm Ignatius, a student of Kibabi University, and I am pursuing a bachelor course in education science, mathematics and physics, and my dream is to join a university in Canada to pursue a master's to start the process. How to start the process of getting a scholarship for learning abroad. I want to know more about studying abroad in Switzerland. Switzerland? Is it possible to get a chance to study masters having done a course in animal health and production? Okay. Good morning, I'm Judith. I have a diploma in civil engineering. Am I eligible to pursue a bachelor's degree in the university? After this, can I earn a job opportunity? What are the requirements needed for that? Thank you, Judith. Good morning, I'm Jackie. Can they talk on the documents needed to travel, and what will be the reason for your visa being rejected multiple times despite the documents being clean and legal? Because I've tried chasing my dream abroad and it seems it's either I'm slow or my dreams are fast. Specifically for hospitality and for caregiving. I think we touched on that, but we'll probably highlight more. I'm kindly requesting for your help, please. I'm interested in acting and I don't know how to go about it. Okay. Okay. Hi, NTV. What does the process look like to enroll in the local community college to do a diploma in sales and marketing? A diploma... Good morning. I have a diploma in clinical... I'm a clinical officer. He's a clinical officer with a diploma, right? Dreaming to study abroad, specifically USA. Can you assist me? I'm open, even if it's to start a nursing career. I'm ready. Please offer guidance. Hello. My name is Kate. Where are these agents located? Australia, Canada, and US. Where do we can get the agents? And I think we can just start with that because we've seen agents who are legit and we've seen agents who've misled others. How do we tell that this is legit and this is not legit?
First of all, it's about the feedback from the clients. So if someone does not have stories to tell about the students who are studying there, that's the first problem. Okay. So that's something I struggled with beginning, because I was being asked, who have you taken? When you tell people, I want you to go to the US. When I went to the US for my first time in 2018 and realized the opportunities that are there, I wanted students who study there. Then when you tell students to go, show us someone who has gone. So right now I have very many students. So if you want to know I'm legit, I'll give you students to talk to who are there via WhatsApp calls and all that. And then
so we
you
need
can
to
talk.
look out for that.
You need stories. One of those things that you need to look for is success stories. You know, sometimes it's difficult to be the first person. So you must, as an agent, one thing you need to do is to have success stories. If you're taking people to work, you can take a few for free. For example, if you're charging people to take them to work, so that you can have stories for people who are working, how are the living conditions and everything, so that you're not leading people down a path of destruction. Then there's government regulatory agencies. You know, they require background checks even through the National Intelligence Services to identify companies that are hogwash and those that are real. So you need to have organizations that are accredited. If it's agencies, we have Commission for University Education. It's one of those that certify these agencies are genuine and they're doing the right thing with students. We also have for agencies that are taking people to work, we have NEA, National Employment Authority. So you need someone to be certified with them because they have a track record and they are regulated. You have somewhere to report them if they do something bad or fishy. So that is something that you need to look out. So for us, we are at Muthaiga Square, opposite Muthaiga Police Station on Thika Road.
Muthaiga Police Station is right next.
Opposite. So that's where we are, opposite. So it's Muthaiga Square on first floor. So that's where we work from. And I've seen so many questions from students regarding courses and what have you. There's something I want to touch on because I've seen it severally. It's about students doing education.
Yes.
In America, they have a big shortage of teachers. But now you need to graduate first and to practice here in Kenya for 2 years. You need like 2 years experience for you to go there directly to work as a teacher. But you can also go to do masters in education directly. That one, you can do STEM-related education. For example, education technology. There are so many things that you can touch on technology that gives you the 3-year advantage after graduation. Or any education, especially education science teachers are in high demand. You finish and you get a spot to teach. And teachers in the US earn around 650,000 shillings every month, which is a decent salary. If you have 2 years experience, you have a driving license. It's one of the things schools will ask for. There is no waiting time like for nurses, now for teachers. So for teachers, if you have your 2 years experience, you have a driving license, you have a GPA of at least 3.0 for your undergraduate, you are good to go. You can go directly to teach. But these, the visas are 3-year visas for you to teach. You go teach and come back. Then you have to reapply for the teaching again.
DMK, I have to harakisha kidogo because we have about 5 or 4 minutes to the end of the show, Kabisa. And we have, do we have that question, Mabel? It's ready? Okay, let's have it. Okay. Hi, just tuning in now. I have a computer science degree and 1 year of experience as a full stack developer. I would like to do my master's degree in cybersecurity in the US. Can you help here? Kindly talk about how much it takes to live in Germany comfortably if the tuition fee is free.
For Germany, now I'll start with the one that's wrong. For Germany, the tuition is free, but you need some money. You're allowed to work. So living is not a problem because you're allowed to work, so you can work and live. So the moment you have the language, everything else is affordable because you just need, maybe say, 500,000 for your initial pocket money, the air ticket and all that, just 500,000. But for the most important thing is the language. The embassy looks out for that more than anything else because they know since there is no school fees, we will not be asking students for a lot of things. But they look at language. It also shows that you're passionate about them and their culture. For them, it's also your story, but it is evidence in paper because also there are no interviews with the German embassy. So unless they call you in, sometimes they decide to call you in if they want to hear about your story. So then there is something about the cybersecurity. It's possible to go study that one. That one is even financed by Empower. You don't need a lot of money to study that.
Okay.
With 200,000, our program is able to take you there to do that.
All right. Yeah. I hear you have one more important question that we need to tackle before we go. Can I apply for a different bachelor's degree from the one I've done here in Kenya? And we can have maybe Mary or John get into that.
I'll start and then I'll hand to John.
Yes.
We can
and we have about
this.
3 minutes.
So, yes, you can study a different bachelor's degree, but it's most preferable to study up from a bachelor to a master, because when you're applying for the visa and the genuine student, there's a lot of things you have to answer to, and one of those is if you apply, you've done a bachelor and you apply for the same level, that will be flagged with the immigration, and it's not saying that you can't do it, but you have to have a really good explanation as to why you want to do it. Okay. So basically, if you were applying for the master in your new specialization, that would be better. That wouldn't be questioned.
All right. Yeah, there were a couple of other questions as well, John, if you can remember, in about 2 minutes.
Yes, there was quite a number of other questions. For example, there are those that were touching on nursing and IT, those who have diplomas or previous study in information technology. So, of course, those who have a diploma in IT from a university in Kenya that's on the Commission for University Education's website are granted direct entry to universities in Australia to study the Bachelors of IT. And there's very amazing specializations like those that are touching on artificial intelligence, data science, cyber security, and forensics. And those are really cutting edge, and they make students very future fit in the current environment. Then those who have diplomas in nursing can always take the Bachelor of Nursing. Those who have a Bachelor's of Nursing can take a master's degree in healthcare management or in health policy and management. We said about agents, how to find agents who are genuine.
And your contacts as well.
So we'll provide a contact, but before I say that, there's a very common terminology in Kenya, and I know those who know it will know what I'm saying. Kuchonga. You go to an agent and they tell you that watakuchongea certificate, watakuchongea bank statement for X amount of money. So those are warning signs. So if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck,
it's definitely a duck.
It's really a duck. It's not a genuine agent. The way to do it is go to the university's website. You'll see the list of agents if you click on apply. For us and University of Western Australia, you can write an email to africa@murdoch, murdoch.edu.au, and we'll be very happy to quickly respond back to you with a list of agents, or at least a link that you can click on, and you'll see all the agents that are authorized by Murdoch University and the University of Western Australia.
Great.
Thank you very much.
I know, DMK, you gave us a location. Does that cuts across for you? Sorry, DMK, that cuts across for you, Mary, as well? When they get on this website, they're on the same page. Fantastic. DMK, you told us physical location, but if people want to catch you online, how
I'll give them the office line.
Yes.
This is 0721 141 707. 0721 141 707.
Okay. Do you want to say that again?
Yeah. 0721 141 707.
Okay.
You'll get someone in our office and you can ask your questions. You can also find us online, africaairliftprogram.com. africaairliftinitiative.com.
Okay. Yes, John.
So I just wanted to add one more thing.
Yes.
If you want to see how to travel, how the airports look like, how the universities look like, what you need to do in a very nice casual setting, you can follow me on TikTok. My name is John Mutwiri Mereti, and I always share all my travels and everything else there.
That is what's up. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Mary. DMK, asanteni sana, my amazing audience. I hope you have all your answers right now. Jipigieni makofi. Many students, wanini, what the globe. Thank you so much for tuning in and for even talking to us on WhatsApp. I know we've rushed through them and have not covered everything, but I promise you tomorrow, same time, same place, we'll be here. To my crew and my producers, asanteni sana for making this happen. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Adios.